In this video, we are going to discuss constraint layout and how we can implement constraint layout in Jetpack Compose. Constraint layout is used to place composables relative to each other on the screen. Constraint layout is useful while implementing larger layouts with complicated alignment requirements. As per the Jetpack Compose documentation, using nested rows and columns does not affect your app performance. However, it is okay to learn constraint layout and how to implement constraint layout in Jetpack Compose. In Android Studio, I have created a new project and I have deleted some lines of code that comes when we create a new project. Here, I am going to create a new composable function and I am going to name this function constraint layout demo. Within this function, we are going to create our constraint layout. Inside this constraint layout, I am going to pass a parameter modifier to fill the maximum size, that is, to fill the entire screen size. Now, I am going to create a box widget and I am going to set its size to 100 dp. Also, I am going to set its color to red. To constrain this box horizontally and vertically to parent, we first create a reference for this box widget. For that, I am going to declare a variable called val redboxReference and I am going to set it to a constraint layout function called createRef. What this function does is that it creates an ID for our box widget. We are going to use this redboxReference in a modifier function called constraintAs. We are going to pass redboxReference as a parameter to constraintAs function. Inside this lambda, we are going to declare our constraints. I am going to set the top constraint of our box to parent.top. Parent is a existing reference for specifying constraints towards the constraint layout, that is our parent layout. Next, I am going to set the bottom constraint to parent.bottom and also start constraint to parent.start, and finally I am going to constrain end to parent.end. I am going to call this function inside our setContent block. Now let's run our app and see how it looks. As you can see that our red box is placed in the center of our application. This is because we have set our horizontal and vertical constraint to its parent. Now we are going to discuss how we can constrain different views. So here I am going to have a copy of our redboxReference and I am going to create a new box widget. Also, for this box I am going to create a reference. For creating multiple references in a single line, we can use the brackets and place all our reference variable names, and we are going to use a special function called createRefs. CreateRefs is similar to createRef but to create multiple references. Now I am going to set our new box widget reference as blueboxReference and I am also going to set our background color to blue. I am going to delete these constraints and I am going to constrain our new box top to our red box bottom. To get reference to our red box bottom constraint, we are going to use the reference that we have created using createRef. RedboxReference.bottom gives the bottom constraint of our red box, and I am going to set our blue box start to parent.start and end to parent.end. Now if we run our program, our blue box will be placed right below our red box, since we have set the top constraint of blue box to the bottom of our red box. As you can see here that our blue box is right below our red box. Now we can set a margin to our blue box to separate our red box and blue box. For that, I'm going to use a parameter called margin inside our link to function, and I'm going to set the margin of 20 dp. Now if you run our application, we will see a blue box 20 dp below our red box. Also, we can set the width of our blue box to match constraint, that is to stretch as much as space that it can get. To do that, we are going to use a width parameter. This width parameter requires a dimension value, and I'm going to set it to fill to constraints. Also, make sure to provide only the height of our blue box. The width of our blue box is going to be match constraint. As you can see, the width of our blue box is stretched as much as space that it can get from our constraint layout. Now, let's create some guidelines and place these views in relative to our guideline. Guidelines are imaginary lines that are drawn on our constraint layout. It is not visible to a user, but it can be used to align our widgets inside our constraint layout. For example, suppose we want our red box to be displayed 30% from the top of our constraint layout. To do that, we can use guidelines. The ultimate purpose of using guidelines is that it will be same on all devices. That is, if we are going to run our application in different devices, the red box will be 30% from the top in all other devices. Let's create a guideline. First, I'm going to delete the blue box. And at the top, I'm going to create our guideline. To create a guideline from top, declare a variable and set its value to create guideline from top. This function creates a guideline from the top of our parent. Here we can specify the exact height in dp, or we can specify the percentage from the top that guideline should be created in fraction value. I'm going to create a guideline 30% from the top of our parent. Once we have created our guideline, I'm going to use it in our red box. First, I'm going to delete the bottom constraint. Now, I'm going to set the top constraint of our red box to the guideline we have created. As you can see that our red box is drawn from 30% from the top of our parent. Let's change the value to somewhat 0.7 to draw a guideline 70% from the top of our parent. Now our box will be located 70% from the top of our parent. Next, we are going to discuss chaining in constraint layout. Chaining is a concept used to distribute views inside our constraint layout either horizontally or vertically. First, I am going to create references for 3 box widgets. For that, I am going to declare as a variable called blue box reference and green box reference, and also change the method from create ref to create refs. I am going to set the top constraint of our red box to the parent top. Take the copy of our box widget and paste it 2 more times for our blue box and our green box. Set the constraint of our blue box as blue box reference and also change the background color. Now set the reference of our green box as green box reference and also change the color to green. Set the top constraint of blue box to red box reference dot top and the top reference of green box to blue box reference dot top, such that the box are vertically placed one after the other. Here we have a problem. As you can see, the boxes are stacked on top of each other. This is because we have set the top constraint to red box reference dot top and also the top constraint of green to blue box reference dot top. I am going to change it to bottom such that it will be placed one after the other in a vertical direction. Now I am going to create a vertical chain. The vertical chain has 2 parameters. One is the list of widgets that we are going to chain, and the next parameter is the change style. I'm going to provide the references of our red box, blue box and green box, and I'm going to set the change style to change style dot spread. The change style spread evenly distributes our widgets inside our constraint layout. The change style spread inside also spreads our views in constraint layouts such that the first and last widget are affixed to the constraints on each end of the chain and the rest are evenly distributed. The change style packs together the widgets in our constraint layout. That's it for this video. For your information, Jetpack Compose is still evolving, and also this might not be the optimal way of implementing constraint layout. I believe we could expect some changes in the future. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.